Good evening. My name is Rebekkah Camp. I'll be giving you a speech today on why uniforms in public schools are a good idea. April 1989, and 14-year-old DeWitt Duckett is strolling down the hallway of Baltimore's Harlem Park Junior High when he was shot and killed for his Georgetown jacket. Later that year, in May, Michael Eugene Thomas, a ninth grader at Maryland's Meade Senior High School, was strangled to death at the age of 15 for a pair of Nike Air Jordans. A lot of these types of incidents are very commonplace in today's society, just as much as they were back then. PHS commentator Melissa Nitch stated, "When everyone looks alike, there is less risk of being caught in gang fights for wearing the wrong color. With uniforms, no one is killed over a pair of shoes or for a starter jacket." School uniforms, albeit a very controversial topic, are a very, very good idea in public schools. They mitigate a lot of risks that a lot of people don't think about. They curb violence, encourage better school unity and pride, amongst other things. In Long Beach, California, in 1994 is actually the largest time period that anybody paid attention to when a large area incorporated uniforms into schools. In 1961 actually is when uniforms were first implemented into the school systems, but publicly in 1994, Long Beach first did that, and then later on in May of 2000, Philadelphia implemented all 200,000 of their students to wear school uniforms. North Carolina reports that an estimated 80% of their public schools are now required to wear school uniforms as well. In Long Beach School District, after they implemented the uniforms, they did a study a year later, and their numbers for overall crime were down 91%. Committed sexual assaults within the school district were down 96%, and school suspensions dropped 90% from the numbers prior to them implementing uniforms. There are many advantages to school uniforms, like I said before. They create a safer campus, reduce violence, and they limit the number of cliques that you'll see in school, which curbs the need to fit in, as people say. When there's uniforms, outsiders can easily be identified because when they walk on campus, if you're not identified as a teacher with proper identification, they'll notice that you're not supposed to be there. According to the school administration publication and school stated statistics, the mandate of uniforms on campuses has reduced tardiness, skipped classes, suspensions, and discipline referrals. Ruffner Middle School in Norfolk had a drop of 42% in their discipline referrals after they implemented school uniforms. Alongside reducing violence, uniforms are said to entice more conducive learning environments. It's believed that with uniforms there are less distractions, better focus on the actual academics, there's less fights, there's a lot of things. School pride has been shown to rise when there are more uniforms because everybody's wearing the colors of the school. Normally, they're the colors for the school mascots that they give. There are a lot of people actually against school uniforms. The lower cost that parents would have to spend when buying uniforms, because you have a limited wardrobe that you can purchase, is actually counteracted by the purchase of play clothes, as people call them, because you have to provide two wardrobes for your children now. One of the biggest arguments about school uniforms is that it denies young adults self-expression, and that without self-expression, the transition to adulthood is tougher than children who have the option to choose their own wardrobes. They believe that it makes the children not ready, the young adults not ready for their transition into adulthood, for the harsh realities of judgment that they'll have to face. Dr. Alan Hilfer, the senior child and adolescent psychologist, said uniforms do eliminate competition pressure and assaults perpetuated by older kids on younger kids for their sneakers, especially in lower grades. However, clothes are a source of expression for children, and as kids get older, they become increasingly resentful of uniforms. I do believe that uniforms are a wonderful deterrent, and they provide a safer, more constructive environment for students within the school systems. School uniforms are something that should be thoroughly considered by all public schools. Although there are a few negatives, very few negatives, parents should take into consideration how greatly the pros outweigh the cons, and come up with other outlets for their children to express themselves. I, as a single mother, would prefer and I support uniforms in public systems, as safety and education are my priorities for my children.
Oh, good job.